The next step in the 12 steps is faith. And I'm going to pull faith up here in the guidebook. Um, you can read the guidebook. I'm not gonna read this to you. Suffice it to say, I really do like that last line in the narrative. Admitting you cannot conquer your addiction on your own is a dead end if you have nowhere to go on your own. Faith is a power greater than oneself, and it's the path forward. Uh, frankly, guys, I don't know if any of you are subscribed to the Samson Society daily devotions, but I write those, send them out every day, and basically I work my way through the New Testament. I think we're in Acts right now, and one of the things that I found in my own recovery journey is that not only can I not do it on myself, but I also cannot rely on other people. It's important to bring other people in on your recovery, partly because that deals with that whole secret thing. If you're still keeping secrets, you're hobbling yourself. However, the original 12 steps talked about God. All right, they identified God clearly. Bill Wilson was a Christian. He was a faithful man, but early on, well, not all that early on. It was actually, I think it was about 40 or 50 years into it, they started shifting to the wording of higher power, or a power greater than yourself, power outside of yourself. And the reason behind that was partly due to inclusion. They realized, my gosh, we're worldwide, and we need to include other people. Also, part of it is that a lot of people are early in their journey. It's difficult to get out of yourself when you're really stuck in your addiction. It's hard to admit, and B, it's tough to kind of get a handle on there being a higher power at all. If you're not a person of faith, if you haven't grown up in the church or in some other faith, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around that. But early on, Alcoholics Anonymous realized you haven't got a chance in conquering your addiction if, in fact, you are just coming at it from a human perspective, if you're relying on human resources. So you need to step out in faith and have some kind of relationship with a higher power. My higher power is Jesus Christ. I surrendered my life to Christ when I was in junior high, and it has been an up and down relationship, frankly. Part of that time was sort of religious. Part of it was in the early stages, it was very, very zealous. I was like, yeah, gung ho for God. And then, kind of life gets in the way and you become less gung ho. I used to go out witnessing and sharing my faith with people in public places and so on. And then I kind of that sort of faded, and I started I don't know, not hiding my faith, but just less forward about my faith. And then I got sucked into my addiction. And then I started hiding my faith because I was afraid I was going to tarnish God's reputation or something like that. I'm not sure what. Once I finally was able to get over hiding and keeping things secret and shared my addiction with other people, it was a lot easier to humble myself before God. I guess I can honestly say, guys, the cutting edge right now for my own personal recovery journey is trusting, learning to trust, learning what trusting Jesus means. My life verse is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And honestly, that has been now for 45 years, it has been my thing that I keep working and working and working at. In fact, this recovery marathon is one of those things. Just trusting the Lord. I purposefully decided not to fund this through Samson Society because we're always asking you guys for money, and I didn't want to do that again. So we decided to charge for it. And that was a big trust step for me. I felt like, oh God, I can figure this out. I know I can. If I just work harder and I think harder and I consult, really smart people and so on, all of which has been done, except when it gets right down to it in the final analysis, I kind of had to say, okay, Lord, this is in your hands, and I trust whatever you choose to do with this. It's been a labor of love. That's true for my addiction. I've relapsed innumerable times, and I mean innumerable times. I've had a good long stretch right now of sobriety, but I work at it every single day. And one of those things that I do is I first thing in the morning, I text my Silas. I have two actually, Silases. We do a little Silas triad, and I text my Silas, and then I ask God, I need your help today, Lord. That's one of the hallmarks of 12 steps is you do it one day at a time. Um, and so I ask God for his strength, and I tell God, I'm going to trust you for today. Sometimes that works. When that even saying that works is a little bit awkward. I find that kind of strange. It's not that it has to work. It is working. It's working whether or not I recognize it. It is working. But all the same, I have to tell the Lord, I'm trusting you. And as I'm telling the Lord, then I'm telling myself, I'm trusting God. In fact, with Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, I've actually turned that around a little bit. Maybe offer this to you as you're pondering this. I kind of personalize that. So I usually, almost always, I turn it around and say, Tom, trust in the Lord and stop leaning on your own understanding. Give your heart to the Lord. Trust God for this. Don't lean on your own understanding, talking to myself. In all your ways today, acknowledge him and trust that he will make your path straight. And so what I do is I kind of have an ongoing conversation with the Lord. So every we make hundreds of decision or choices every single day, from what you're going to wear in the morning to to big, really important things. And I try really hard to have kind of a running, ongoing conversation with the Lord. Well, Lord, is this a good idea? Or even, I have a good friend, a pastor friend, Don Finto, and he said, whenever I go out to lunch, I always ask the Lord, what place do you want me to go to? And I remember when he said that, I thought, oh, seriously, come on. A, do you think God Almighty is concerned where you're having lunch? And honestly, he said, you cannot believe how many times I've had opportunities to love on, care for, pray for my servers. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, all right. And he's not one of those that's kind of pushing himself on servers. Well, can I pray for you or anything like that? He said people just open up to him readily because God directed him to the place that God wanted him to be that day. So I try real hard on a daily, even hour by hour, minute by minute, keep consulting the Lord. Okay, Lord, what about this? Do you want me to go there? Do you want me to talk to? Who should I talk to? Who should I call first? If I've got 10 people I need to call, who are the ones that I need to make sure I get through first? So trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he really will make your path straight. So, guys, ponder that. Ponder when you get back. Ponder the questions in the guidebook,